Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching Viewpoint on DBS television, and it is the end of the week. So we are rounding the week in a relaxed mode, talking about societal issues, social matters. And in tonight's edition of the program, we'll be talking issues relating to modeling, issues relating to consultancy, advertising and marketing, branding and promotion. All these put together, we have a resource person. She is our only guest tonight, and we'll be talking about Prandi Global Limited. We have a guest in the house. She is Prandi Nuela Tene Lambi. Good evening, Prandi.
Good evening.
It's a pleasure having you.
Thank you.
And we want us to talk to Cameroonians on issues concerning Prandi Global International. We are looking at issues like social media. We are looking at issues like brand ambassadors in Cameroon and globally. So in tonight's edition of the program, let's take the first part, that is the yes or no question and answer session. We begin with question 1, and we are finding out from Prandi, social media lapses. Can the misuse of these platforms be controlled?
Well, I'll go with no.
No, she says it cannot be controlled. Now we take brand ambassador. That's the question 2. Does it take much to become one?
Yes, it does.
Okay, yes, it does. Those are her views on this. When we come back in part 2, she will tell us much. If you are just joining us, you're watching Viewpoint, and we're equally going live on our Facebook page that you have on your screen. We're talking about the use of social media, and it is becoming a kind of household name where practically everyone is involved with the use of one platform or the other on the social media. And with us in the studio, we want to talk to Prandi Lambi to tell us about the misuse of this platform. And we'll talk about social media because she makes use of it, like we'll discover in the course of the program. I want to find out from her if the social media platforms, the misuse can be controlled. And she thinks that, no, they cannot be controlled. Prandi. Yes, when you say they cannot be controlled, is it that social media and anybody gets there does anything?
Well, the social media right now is a tool for everybody.
Yes.
Everybody goes to Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram. Everybody uses the social media platforms. Mm-hmm. So when you put a content on social media, it's a little difficult for people to reach your content because of the so much content online. You don't even know which one is which one is true, which one is not true, which one is helpful, which one is not. So it's basically so difficult.
Okay, but you make use of social media platform to carry out your activities, which we are going to come to it probably at the end of the program. But then when you use the social media platforms like those you have cited, those difficulties that you have, so much content before you post, maybe so many other thousands of people are posting your content, what you're trying to promote on social media, does it not get swallowed up by this huge traffic of information on these platforms? How do you survive?
Branding.
Yes. We
brand our content in such a way that when someone sees it, is easily attracted to want to go through our page, to want to look at our content, to want to look at what we are up to. So that's basically how we survive in the social media world.
But there's this phenomenon of fake news, the use of fake information, counterfeit information that we have on social media. How do you cope with that?
We try to make our work unique in such a way that like for example, if we're posting a picture online, we try to show you the behind the scenes so that you know that we actually went through this process before we came out with this picture or with this content. So that's how we try to manage social media.
Okay, but then when you talk of social media, you cannot use social media without, internet connection. We are in our African context, and you know that internet is still like, luxury. It's not. We don't yet perceive it as a necessity, given the availability, given the speed. How do you cope with that? The slow nature of the internet that we have. By the time everybody thinks that going to the internet is just to say hello, how are you doing? The culture. Do we really inculcate the culture of using this platform as a means of getting across what you want to sell across?
We came and met it the way it was, and we're just using it the way it is. We don't really have much to say. Like, yeah, it's difficult, as connections at times is slow. Sometimes you want to research on something, you want to post something, you want to do, and it's just really discouraging you. You have to find a means or a better communication line. Sometimes they'll say MTN is this, Orange is this, Orange is preferable, Camta is preferable. You just get confused. So we just use what is available at any time.
And then those with whom you communicate, you may be able to overcome the difficulties at your level because you know what you are driving at. But the other person at the other end who is expecting to get from you, how do you help the person overcome such difficulties that the person is facing at the other end?
We use Facebook. I believe Facebook has made it in such a way that you can use it without data. So Facebook is the cheapest means of transmitting information and getting information. So no matter where you are, even in the remote part of Cameroon, you using Facebook, you'll be able to see our content. Everybody's on WhatsApp.
We presume.
Yeah, we presume everybody's on WhatsApp.
Yes.
So we also use WhatsApp status, like broadcast messages, in order to send our information. Like, say if we post online and you don't see, we send it to your direct message, so you see that we are working.
Okay. When you say like something like WhatsApp, status, not everybody understands the use. You would understand that it still falls within a certain class of maybe the population that is. You may have a phone and you may not know how to make use of that phone. Is that not also a difficulty for you? The kind of phone that you have, being able to manipulate it, because you take off status, I may not know how to use it, whereas you are communicating through the status.
Another strategy we use is by organizing shows.
Okay.
Yes. So we invite people. We do caravans. We walk on the streets. We share flyers to invite people to come to these shows and these seminars. That way, we believe it reaches everybody. Because we, in our terms, we call that aggressive marketing.
Aggressive marketing.
Yes.
Okay.
Like,
aggressive, not in the negative sense anyway.
No, not in the negative sense. Aggressive marketing in a positive sense. So that's what we do. And basically, we feel like it reaches everybody and no one is left out.
Okay. Then if you are able to overcome such difficulties, we are still talking about social media lapses. Like I was saying something about the cost of running these platforms, like having the needed data to survive. You realize that maybe those who can, those are those who get to you. Is that because I would discover maybe I may want to get to you and understand what you are doing, and I don't have the means to have the data to operate, maybe get into your page, get the information that you are sharing. You see, because we are still in the concept where people believe that using a data, being on social media, is luxury, is not a necessity. That culture in our society, where you think that you just go there because it shows the level at where you are. How do you overcome that culture, making sure that people understand that you can go to social media in need, you can buy from the social media, you can sell through the social media? That culture is still very, very, very slow, very, very, very minimal in our society.
I don't think so.
Okay, from what you have in the field, people are already into it.
Yes, basically everybody is into social media platforms. Everybody is connected. Like, yeah, so we don't really see it that way.
But connected Is it connected for a positive purpose? Because you get to social media, like we are looking at the lapses, you realize that anybody, publishes anything. Getting into social media for something useful, or getting into social media because you want to read the kind of, and at times I used to think that most of the stories on social media are fake, perhaps false.
Yeah, they are.
So is it getting into social media just to read what is trending, read all kinds of gossips, or getting there to find out something like what Branding Global is doing, maybe what is on sale, maybe what is, try to make it useful.
There's so much content on social media.
Yes.
People have their various reasons why they go on social media.
Okay.
Like you can go on social media and you already have something in mind. But there's this thing they call ads. When you run ads on a particular page, especially if it is a page that contains negative information, the minute you pop in your social media handle, like you enter, like for example, Facebook, if you run an ad on that article, immediately it just comes to your page.
Okay.
So sometimes you cannot avoid it because the person has promoted the page. So saying it now, your attention is diversified, like you basically go off. So the internet is just so funny right now, but since people do that, we also try to run ads on our own page, so that when you open
it pops in, whether you like it or
whether
not.
you like it or not.
And is that not another form of aggression, like you call it, aggressive marketing? Okay. All right. Now let's talk about brand ambassador. That should be a question too. And we're trying to find out, what does it take to become a brand ambassador? When we talk about brand ambassador, some people may understand. Some of our viewers may not grasp the concept of brand ambassador. Who is a brand ambassador? Or what do we mean by brand ambassador?
A brand ambassador can be referred to as an influencer who probably is like a messenger between the audience and, like, the brand ambassador is like a messenger, someone who
promotes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Who promotes a particular content. Like for example, let's take soap, beauty soap. And let's say there's a young girl who has probably 50,000 followers, and they decide to use her as a brand ambassador. Why are they using her as a brand ambassador?
That's where I was going to. What is the purpose of passing through her?
Because she has a large audience. So a brand ambassador can be referred to as someone who has a large audience and can easily transmit information between the producer and the consumer.
So put in another way, so this is simply like another form of publicity.
Yes.
Using an individual to publicize, maybe you called it a content, maybe an article, maybe a brand, actually.
Exactly.
Okay, but then I wanted to find out, does it take much to become that ambassador?
Yes, it does.
Like,
it does. You actually need to be constantly, like, you need to be known. Because I'm not going to take someone who has, like, for example, 100 followers to be my brand ambassador.
Okay.
I'll rather take someone with 50,000 followers, because I know you have a wider audience, and my product can easily sell.
Okay.
But you're probably great and stuff, but you just have 100 followers, I may not take you as a brand ambassador. So it actually needs a lot.
Okay, I wanted to find out, therefore, brand ambassadors or brand ambassador is reserved, let me call it, for stars.
Yes.
For stars. And those of us who happen to be from the other side, who may never be stars, the idea of brand ambassador completely goes off.
You can be a brand ambassador of your own product now.
Okay. Now, let's get further by trying to find out, are there different types of, modeling?
Yes, there are several types of modeling. Yeah. We have a pageantry, we have a commercial model, we have a body part model, we have video vixens, we have runway, we have plus size, we have so many.
Okay. Now, I wanted to make a difference between a brand ambassador and a model. Are they? Is this the same thing?
Almost.
Okay.
It's almost the same thing. Well, not necessarily though, because an actress as well can be a brand ambassador.
Okay.
Yes, because let's just say an actress, she's a star. You can use her and market your product, as well as a model. But it's more, it's better when you use a model because they just always have this form, this shape, this charisma. Like they know they're doing modeling, because being a brand ambassador of a product is like you're modeling the product. So it kind of like it's kind of like intertwined. Yeah, so.
And you need to master the product very well.
Yes.
Okay. When you say you need to be kind of, because you keep it in your mind that you are a model, modeling and getting your normal life, are they compatible? What I mean is, first of all, I want to find out, is it only a woman who can be a model, or both?
Both.
A man or a woman, a boy or a girl?
Yeah, boy and girl. Like you can, all of them can be models. Yes. There's no limitations.
Okay. Then most of those we have are mostly women.
The men are slowly
getting into it.
Yeah. Like the amount of men we have now in modeling, it's because like right now, I have like 10 models, male.
Okay.
Yeah. But before, when I started, I had just one. But now I have 10. So the men are engaging.
Okay. So I was taking the part of a woman to ask whether a woman can continue a normal life as a woman. What I mean by continue, I see a young girl who is a model. Can I approach her and propose, I want to get married to you? Does it go?
Yes. You can get married to a model. It's not like you...
Yes,
you can get married to a model.
Yeah, it sounds funny.
No, it's like it's an occupation like every other occupation. It's like, yeah, it's just like getting married to a teacher.
Yes. No, for teachers, I don't think there is any school that will say that you don't have to give birth. You don't have to be pregnant.
No.
You have to maintain a kind of, silhouette. You have to be...
No, you can give birth, you can get married and stuff. But
imagine you are pregnant and that is when you have to, model through, or maybe sell the brand of a product. How does that go?
No, you can still work.
Okay.
Yeah, like if you give birth, you go to the gym, you head back to the gym, you get fit and stuff.
Maybe I did not want my wife to be that way. I wanted my wife, to be a married woman.
Well,
it becomes a bit personal.
Yeah, that's different.
Okay.
Yeah, that's different.
Okay. Now I wanted to find out from you. You've been in this field because that is what, like I was saying, Brandy Global Limited.
Yes.
What is it all about?
Well, Brandy Global is an international firm that is out to empower young girls and boys, gain financial stability and independence by serving as brand representatives, as brand ambassadors, and models for companies. So these companies get an increase in their market shares and sales. We offer like a lot of services. We don't just do modeling. Offer consultancy, branding and promotion. We have a fashion house, a hair brand, and a jewelry line.
Okay. Now, given from what you have already, you have been into this. Can you advise a young lady, a young man out there, can he make a career, a living out of modeling, being brand ambassador in Cameroon? I'm talking about Cameroonian context.
Well, yes, you can, given that you are doing modeling with the perspective, like with the intentions of making money. Because some...
No, with the intention of making money.
Yes.
Are there some that can be done for charity?
Some people do it for pleasure, some people do it for, like, just to pass time.
Okay.
Yeah. But if you're doing it just to pass time and you barely don't get anything out of it, you just barely have pictures and... Yeah, but if you're doing it with the intentions of building like a career, it's different. Like you actually need to make sure you are paid for what you do. Taking the example of being a brand ambassador, make sure you're paid for being used as a brand ambassador. From there, you can
make a career. You can make your living out of it. But like your foundation, you are the founder of Brandy Global Limited. Do you follow up, like you said, you already have 10 models, right?
Male models.
Male models. Now, do you follow up to make sure that they can settle for that as a way of making a living at all?
Now, what I tell my models every day is, don't just focus on modeling. If you're doing modeling, make sure you're doing something alongside. Like, for example, I have models that are designers. For them, it's going to be easy because they're learning modeling at the same time they're doing fashion designing. They can easily merge the two.
Okay.
Yes, and do something. I have models who are hairdressers. They can easily advertise their hair. So I always encourage that when you're doing modeling, you do something alongside it. You don't just do modeling like that. That way, you're kind of like focused, because in modeling, you actually need a lot of finance in order to be perfect, like to come out real well, to brand yourself. You need finance. You cannot do it on your own. You cannot do it while sitting and doing nothing. Do something.
Okay. I was to ask you another question. From what you have in the field, within our Cameroonian context, it's like maybe I want to brandish my product. I instead go outside, look for this international stars to use as brand ambassadors. Do you face that conflict in Cameroon, where Cameroonian companies, national and companies based in Cameroon, don't come sourcing for brand ambassadors from home or from maybe Brandy Global?
Yes, we do. We do face the problem because they feel like some companies feel like probably we Cameroonians don't know how to do it well, whereas we do. I mean, I don't know why a company should seek for international models,
whereas they are here.
Whereas we have a ton of models here. But we face the problem, yeah.
Okay, then I wanted to, what age does one need to start, modeling?
Well,
is there any age limit? Can I just say, get up, maybe my 8-year-old daughter tells me that Daddy, I want to become a model?
No, I will not advise your 8-year-old daughter to do that. I'll advise anybody who wants to get into modeling to start at the age of 18.
Okay.
Yeah, from 18. Because that way you can easily go for competitions without limitations, and you'll be easily accepted.
Okay, there are competitions involved.
Yeah, there are competitions like Miss Cameroon, Miss Norwest, Miss Southwest,
Miss Sante.
Yeah, there are a lot of competitions. So it's always appropriate that you're 18 and above, so that you know exactly what you're doing. Because if your 8-year-old daughter is going in for a competition and she has to travel somewhere,
she will need to go with somebody.
Yeah, exactly. And if she has to say some kind of, she has to study the environment, study some kind of things before. So our advice from 18.
The way you talk about studies, does that have any influence with the study? Because from 18, you are still in school, probably, maybe in university, maybe in secondary school. Does it have any interference with your studies? I mean, modeling, brand ambassador as well.
Now it depends on your schedule. Yeah, you always have to try to make your schedule in such a way that it will not interfere with your schoolwork. Yes, so you always need to be conscious. That's why I prefer from 18, so that you know what is wrong and what is right. Yeah.
Okay. Now I was asking the other question: what does it take, to become one? And another question I want to ask from you: must you be pretty, perhaps handsome, beautiful, to become a brand ambassador, to become a model?
No, you must not be pretty. Well, everybody is pretty, but you must not be pretty. Yeah. You can be ugly, if the opposite of pretty, and still be a model.
Can we have an ugly star?
Yeah, we have many ugly stars.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, we have.
Okay. And once you are ugly, anyway, once you have a large following, if I understood you well.
Yeah, when you have a large audience, being ugly or pretty doesn't matter.
So I was asking about who needs to be a model or a brand ambassador, and I was asking, like, must one be pretty to be a model or a brand ambassador?
No, you must not be pretty. We have
like, that's what I was asking, whether you can be, if I'm ugly, can I be a brand ambassador? Can I model?
If you're ugly and you have the audience, yes, you can be a brand ambassador. You must not be pretty.
But can an ugly person really, have that? Can there be audience following an ugly person?
Yes, if the person is giving great content to the society, then why not?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so an ugly person can be a brand ambassador as well as a pretty person.
Those are they can. But the reality on the ground is most of these brand ambassadors that you have are this kind of flashy type, this kind of, shiny kind of type. Can you really kind of go back to the village and pick one, and then becomes a brand ambassador?
Yeah, there's this saying that they always say, money makes monkey to be handsome.
Therefore?
So anybody can be pretty as well as you are taken care of very well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't believe there's a very ugly person.
Mm-hmm.
You can be pretty once you're fine, like you're taken care of and everything.
Okay, before we get out of the studio, I want to find out from you, when Brandy Global is selecting models, selecting brand ambassadors, what do you go for?
I mostly go for the creative people. Yeah, like I want my work to be unique, so I go for people who think out of the box. It must not necessarily be pretty, tall, short, none. So far as you are creative and you can think out of the box, you can bring
something original.
Yeah, something great. I'll go for you.
Okay, now let's look at Brandy Global. What is Brandy Global having as their next target up in their agenda?
Okay. Last year, October, we had our first launch here in Douala. And recently, we just did the full package event. 21st March, that was in Bamenda. And this May, we are planning to do a Bamenda talent show. It's going to involve singing, dancing, makeup and modeling. I'm trying to bring different talents together, since people are like focus on modeling. Okay, so I'm giving out the opportunity for other people who have talents to come together and showcase their work.
And who are you looking forward to having in this Bamenda talent show? Who are you looking forward to, like participants?
Well, when everybody, but
those who can suit in the context.
Yes, everybody. It's there's no limitation. It's open to everybody. But now we're doing it on a different scale. We're going to have more of let's call it celebrities on the show to make it more spicy. So that's what we're going to do this time.
There is this issue of coronavirus pandemic. How is this pandemic taking a toll on Brandy Global? How is it affecting your activities?
Well, it's really affecting our activities, as they're saying we shouldn't gather a lot, but we're trying to work on it by everybody putting on the face masks. Like during the last event, we tried as much as possible that anyone entering the event ground should have a face mask. You sanitize your hands and stuff. So we're really trying, but though it's not really easy because some people are afraid to come because they don't want to
get contaminated.
Yes. So we're just trying.
But do you have any assistance from the government or non-governmental organizations, from other companies that may benefit from your product? Do you have any assistance? Do they assist you? Government, Ministry of Culture, all this. Do you have such assistance?
Yeah, we work with the Ministry of Arts and Culture. We are under the specific arts, and I also have assistance from Shosa Empire. It's one of the biggest and oldest modeling agency in Cameroon. Okay, and we also have assistance from an NGO and Epic Events, and also from family. Yeah, so that's how we basically work.
Okay, time is almost getting on us. What is the main challenge that Brandy Global goes through? Especially you are working with young people. if I understand well. Yes, what is the main challenge that you go through?
To work with people who have grown up in different houses, it's really difficult because, especially when you pass on instructions and they don't follow. Like you tell someone to do this, to go this way, that this is how it's been done. A person wants to do it their own way. It's really difficult to work with human beings. So it's one of the challenges we're facing from especially the models. Another challenge we're facing is on social media, since it's not easy for people to see our content.
That is it.
So we're struggling. We're getting there.
Okay. And we wish you, on behalf of the entire team, we wish you the Brandy Global Limited success in their endeavor to get as much young men and women into this art of brand ambassador and modeling.
Thank you.
It was our pleasure having you.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of today's edition of Viewpoint. Up next would be the news in the English language. Until we meet again, goodbye from the entire team of technicians and all those involved in making sure that you had a best, and the best out of Viewpoint. Goodbye.
Good evening and welcome to tonight's edition of the news, which is not only the last for this week but equally for this month of April 2020.